So I've mentioned this often in my teaching, and I'm sure it kind of goes over with confusion and disbelief, but this idea that your book eventually starts to tell you what it wants from you. And it's kind of a mystical idea, but it's also not. It's just there is some logic to it. And in the spirit of that, I thought we'd talk today. One of the things that really helped me in my book, and I know I sometimes give this assignment to my students and clients, is to really know your ending sooner than later, because that kind of gives you a North Star to write toward. And it also can allow you to kind of reverse engineer a bit. And you can also, it gives you a way to sort of look, okay, so if you know where you're beginning and you know how you're ending, and you know there's chapters in between, there's a certain, like, a methodical way, you know what kind of work has to get done. Of course, there'll be chapters that surprise you and surprise the reader and are there for various reasons, but it will give you a very solid idea, if you kind of reverse engineer that, of the various phases of your life that you went through during that period, the various transformative experiences that led you to important realizations along the way. So, it's very powerful to understand your ending, and to know if your ending is happened 5 years ago, if your ending happens, the day you finish the book, or if it happens maybe in the future, which, maybe a year from now. And one of the things that I've noticed with this, sometimes clients will realize that they haven't lived their ending yet. So doing this exercise can really, maybe there's a trip you have to go on. Maybe there's a new way of thinking about your life you've got to start embodying. And so it gives you the chance to, like, while you're writing your book, do some things with your, I know the pandemic, like, really changed people's lives. And I know people who became agoraphobic during the pandemic, who, highly functioning people that became agoraphobic. And someone very close to me that happened to. And if I were coaching her, I would ask her for this next year to, like, push your edges and start doing things and writing about it, what these ways that you then embody this new sense of an ending. So anyway, so it's a very powerful exercise. I thought we'd spend most of today doing some exercises around this, and I kind of created a full hour's worth of things that we're not going to be writing copy, but we're going to be doing some exploratory writing today. So again, the idea that knowing your ending gives you a North Star. In my book, the ending proper of my book ends in 2019, but then I wrote a longish epilogue. And so in my epilogue is sort of an archetypical morning for me. And it's in present tense. And so you might try that out if you really don't know exactly what your ending is, but you think it might be present day. That's a good strategy to try. It's now a year later, and I now, in my case, I now live in Austin instead of Boulder. I wake early, I stumble out to the coffee machine, and then I stumble over to my altar where I sit down, and I start to reminisce about the journey I've been on. So anyway, that might be a model for you.
When you say altar, Brad, are you talking about your writing space or your meditation space?
No, well, a meditation space, kind of a bhakti yoga space with a lot of icons and things. Yeah, my meditation space. And things I brought back from all over the world. So candles, incense, all of that. And so that altar it plays a part in my book. And so that imagery is important too. there's one chapter where I build the altar, you know, for the first time, bringing out the objects from all the places I've traveled to. And again, I was a travel writer, so, but we'll talk about imagery today too. So, so if you have my book, and your homework will be after this class to really write an epilogue or an ending. And if you know you want an example, you can certainly look up that epilogue of my book. So so I prepared some. I'm going to hit record here, or